All right, let's wrap up 9.2. So the last concept in 9.2 is something called the at-par yield rate for a coupon bond. Roughly, this is a way we might be able to interpret the as like an average of the rates and the yield in the term structure, but I think I might be reaching with that interpretation. It'll require more thought. But the formal definition is it's the yield, given a yield curve or given a term structure, the at par yield rate, I think I'll call it term structure so we don't have yield thrown around too much. So given a term structure, the at par yield rate for a coupon bond is the coupon, it says yield rate, but it should be a coupon rate at which the bond is priced at par. So let's explore it. Right. So we're going to start, in this case, we're going to assume our face value is 1 and that's redeemed at maturity. And there's n coupons. So we're given the spot rates in the term structure. We're going to find a formula for this at par yield rate. And in 451, we did this with an example first. I actually think that's better, but let's go ahead and work through this and then we'll do an example. So with these assumptions, if the bond is priced at par, that means the price is equal to 1. We're assuming R is equal to I, so I is also the coupon rate. So with this price, we've got certainly a price of 1, and then the face value is 1. The I is the coupon rate as an effective rate. So the amount of the coupon is just I. So if like I were 5%, then this would be 0.05, right? Because 5% of 1 is a nickel. So as before, we value each payment with the given spot rate as appropriate. That's what's going on here. We're just valuing each of the coupon payments using the spot rates. Then we add the redemption amount, right, which is 1, and that's also valued using the last spot rate. Notice I've separated these two, whereas before I wasn't doing that. It's advantageous because remember, we're solving for I. So we factor out our interest rate from the first terms, and well, we've got this equation. This is actually essentially a linear equation. It's 1 equals I times a number plus a number. So we subtract and divide, and we get this little formula. In 451, we saw that this is very much like how interest rate swaps are valued. All right, so let's look at an example. So this one's a little bit different because the term structure is defined by an equation instead of a table. Right? You see that sometimes. Right? So this gives you, for times 0, 1, 2, and 3, the spot rate. Right? So 1, of course, is not really of much value, but it's telling you that like instantaneous interest rates are 6%, and then you grow by 1 percentage point each period. So we're going to find the at par yield rate. I guess this is in years for a 2-year bond. So 3 is unnecessary. We only need 1 and 2. Right? So the first payment. So we assume face value of 1. It's at par, priced at par. So the price is 1. First coupon is I, valued at, well, t equals 1. We get 0.07. Second coupon is I, t equals 2. We get 0.08. And then the redemption amount at 0.08. Solving for I, we get 7.96%. To be honest, I think understanding this process is a little easier than trying to memorize one more formula that's really gross and nasty. That's my opinion. And that's how I tend to think. So this is a question I'll leave for you. It's an opinion question. How much of what we learned in this activity can you reconstruct from definitions and sense making as opposed to memorization? And that depends on how you like to think, right? While I do tend to have a good memory, I don't like memorizing things. I don't trust my memory. So I tend to prefer to use reason when I can and memorize as little as possible. There are some things worth memorizing, but in this case, all of this I could construct from reasoning. Some of you may feel much more comfortable with memorizing, and that's fine too. So that concludes 9.2. The next two activities in this chapter, and really kind of the basis for the rest of this chapter, is the idea that if we have spot rates, those go from time 0 to t for various t's, then there must be implied rates at the intermediate level, like from T-1 to T. And those are called forward rates. So the next series of videos will talk about forward rates on their own, and then this 9.4 will talk about how they relate to spot rates.